Yeah, well, so the Back to the Future review isn't happening.
Stop, look and watch. It's Crazy Josh. I'm sorry my past few videos have been just like nothing but talking about the Back to the Future review, and I know I've missed some days, and I'm sorry, but the Back to the Future review has been like all consuming. Like, Saturday, like every spare second I had, I was working on the review, and it's not coming, at least for a while. I swear, I've been working on it 6 months, since October, and it did not pay off. I use a program called Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, to edit my videos, but I did not have that until this past Christmas. Before that, I had Adobe Premiere Elements, which is like a cheaper, less advanced version of Premiere Pro. And it has some problems, some major issues when it comes to exporting long videos. I don't know what happened, how it happened. I don't even know how to begin to explain it, but I'm gonna try. By the end, the review ended up being just under 48 minutes. All right. Now that would be, I would assume that'd be a couple gigabytes. Somehow, at 720p, 38 just under 30 FPS, the review ended up being 214 gigabytes. For those of you who don't know a lot about digital storage, that's a lot. For one video file, 214 gigabytes is insane. I had a 27-minute video I posted in the past couple months, and that was over 1 gigabyte. 1 gigabyte. And this video that is less than twice that length is 214. That's... I don't know. And so I'm having to redo as much as I can in Premiere Pro. And when I exported it, and so, sorry, I didn't explain that, because it's 214 gigabytes, it won't upload to YouTube. That's just not going to happen. Like, I try to upload it, and like within half a second of me clicking upload, it quits. It says the server won't do it. I spent like a whole day trying to figure it out. I plugged directly into our modem, like directly to the internet, cable and everything. Not enough power, because that is... and I can't just export part of it, or like in little increments and stuff, because you can't do that with Premiere Elements. It's the whole project. And as well as that, the whole thing was off by like 1 or 2 frames, which wouldn't really be a problem if the audio was off. But no, the audio matched up fine. But it was all the clips that were off by a few frames, which is really important when you get down to editing to the frame. I explained this in the last video I did, but still, it's like, you have this image of, say, Marty, and then I cut to a different part of the movie where it's the DeLorean, but I cut right on the end of that shot of Marty in the movie, and the next shot was Doc. So it would be Marty, 1 frame of Doc, and then the DeLorean. And 1 frame is extremely small. That was 1 frame. So, and every single clip was like that. That is not good. And there's certain shots, there is like a storyline to the review. It's not just me reviewing it. There's like an in-story reason as to why I'm reviewing it, which I had a lot of fun doing. That was the most fun part for me for editing, was that, and the cool cinematic intro. But that part, some of those parts I'm redoing in Premiere Pro and After Effects, and that part, I'm happy to redo because it wasn't really, it didn't really take that long to edit originally, especially compared to the rest, and I am happy to redo that and make it much better, nice and smooth editing in Premiere Pro and everything. But it's just the main review of it. I imagine that there's going to be a large chunk of it that I can use as is, because it didn't like cut any frames or anything. Because I have the video file, it's extremely large. But if I put that file into a project in Premiere Pro, and then export all that as its own video from Premiere Pro, it will be a much, much smaller file. I realize a lot of you probably aren't understanding a single thing I'm saying, and I'm sorry. That light should be shifted. Okay, that has nothing to do with this video. Well, I mean, it does, but... And so, re-editing different parts, and it's not like I'm going to have to re-edit all the audio or everything, because, the audio track of me just reviewing, like the narration of me reviewing, was over 50 minutes. And so that alone would take forever to cut down to how I had it before. I mean, the video is 48 minutes and the audio track is 53, but you have to understand there's like an intro and outro to the review. The actual review is like probably closer to 40 minutes. But either way, just editing the audio would take forever, but it would be a million times easier in Premiere Pro. And for whatever reason, I think it was probably because the file was just so large, the project was so large, I could never render the video. As soon as I would try to render the video, Elements would quit. And I've never had a problem with rendering in Premiere Pro. I mean, it can take a really long time sometimes, just because if the file is really big or there's a lot of stuff going on in it. But it's, and Premiere Pro is a much better editor. Like I said, it's Premiere Pro, not Premiere Elements. And plus After Effects is making certain stuff a lot easier. So it will come. It will. Not soon, though. I'm sorry. And I realize I've missed a lot of days for this month. Just recently, though. And that's because I've been all consumed with the review. I feel like I wanted to say something else about it, too. Something about Premiere Pro. Oh well. To show you how sorry I am, I guess I want to save it all so you can see it all in one thing. But here's a teeny little clip of it. Wow, he's looking pretty good for a guy who just walked 2 miles. Granted, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but he doesn't even look a little tired. His hair is dry as a bone. Anyway, Marty makes his way through town square while Mr. Sandman is playing. I've watched this movie so many times that car horn is just a part of the song to me now. I can never hear it without expecting it 10 seconds in. Despite messing up most of Earth Angel, Marvin wants Marty to do another song. So he chooses Johnny B. Good, which totally wouldn't mess up time or anything. Okay, I remember what I wanted to say before about it. Text in Premiere Elements, if you move text, it's like, it's here and then moves down here. It, for whatever reason, it doesn't like get blurry or anything when it moves. It's like there's two, like one like a frame behind it going down, and I had text spinning at one point for this thing, and it was totally, and part of the rendering too was, I don't have Back to the Future in a video file that I can put into a project. So I had probably at least 100 different clips that I pulled from YouTube that were just clips of the film, and I pieced the movie together through that. And then I finally found this movie called fzmovies.net, and on there I was able to download the whole movie in a very low quality. But with that, I was able to easily fill in a lot of the gaps I had. So, I mean, low quality is better than nothing at all. Or there was one part I had just still images of the scene because I could not find it anywhere. And one of the clips that I used was like 17 minutes long. It was like a huge chunk of the movie. That was great, except it was in reverse, probably some copyright thing, and which was fine. I reversed it in the project, but because it was reversed, because the project was so long, it would like lag like a lot when trying to play it. So it will come. I'm super excited about it. I love it. Sometimes I just watch a portion of it, even if I'm not editing it. I personally find it entertaining and like it. I really hope and think you guys will too. And I love the storyline. The storyline as to why I'm reviewing it. I'm making it sound like some amazing thing. I really like it. The story reason as to why I'm reviewing it is something I'm really excited about because it's been a story arc that I've been working on since 2012, and I think, and this isn't like the finale of that story arc, but it's a big portion of it. And the story arc that I'm talking, it's all right. It's called Project Flux, named after the flux capacitor. Surprise, surprise. Back to the Future is my all-time favorite movie, just so you know. So that's, yeah. But I don't want to tell you too much about Project Flux, but it's a story arc that has been going on my channel since 2012. And my favorite part about it is it's very subtle. It's a very subtle story arc. But once my bigger projects for it come in later, things will become more obvious. I have some footage that I've been saving for several years that has never before seen. I filmed a buttload of stuff last year, and that will be shown in the future. It's something I'm super excited about, and the Back to the Future review plays into that storyline. It's not a big part of the storyline, but the review itself is a big thing. And originally I was going to post review of all 3 movies on October 21st, 2015. That obviously didn't happen. I don't know why I thought that could happen. That is absolutely insane. Just seeing how long it took me to do this. Then again, that's partially my fault for being lazy. I mean, I did, like, today, I started and finished one shot in After Effects for the review that that took me several months to do in Premiere Elements. So, yeah, I'm working with a tad more efficient equipment now. Also, I'm thinking about getting a new camera. I have a camera I'm borrowing, and I thought it was supposed to be 1080. It's, as far as I can tell, it's only 720, but it is 60 FPS. So that's good. That's the frames per second. This is 30 right here. I don't know why I'm not using it right now. But also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the month, I think, I have a microphone now. I did not beforehand. And so, there's a lot of white noise in the background. There's like next to no white noise in my room right now, but you can easily tell the difference between having a mic and not having a mic. It sounds much better. There's like no white background noise. But in the review there is, because I didn't have a microphone at the time, I literally just had the camera on me, and I was reading the review off my computer, and so you can hear some white noise in the background there. So when I finally get around to doing the second and third movie review, those will be a much better, from a production standpoint. And hopefully they'll be good and entertaining too. But from a production standpoint, they'll be very good as well. I gotta tell you, this microphone has been real nice. I didn't have a lot of my technical. I used to not have a lot of my technical equipment. I didn't have these lights for years and years, and this is how this video would look without them. These are the lights right here. And so, you gotta have the quality that you make it is important, but you gotta have good equipment too, because I've just been rambling on now. This has nothing to do with what I was talking about. Actually, it is. It has a lot to do with it. Well, I'm in a much better mood than I was at the beginning of this video, so that's good. Anyway, that's about it. Hopefully you stuck around. I personally wouldn't have. It would have been off. Working on re-editing the review. It's not all that though. I enjoy it. Anyway, like I said, that's about it. So until next time, I bid you all goodbye. My prom is this Saturday. Should I go? I don't know. I don't have a date. This would be like my 6th or 7th dance in a row going solo. Stag, is that what they call it? I don't even know the lingo. So I'm really debating whether or not to go to my prom. I'm in 11th grade, so this isn't like the senior final big thing. But still, I'd love to know people's opinions.